Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Phil Gadd podcast with Living in Fernie, brokered by eXp Realty. Today I chat with Sky McLean, a Canadian entrepreneur who has built a successful business empire, Basecamp Resorts. She explains the concept behind Basecamp and what to expect when it comes right here to Fernie, BC. But quickly, before we get into the interview, I've been selling homes now in Fernie for 5 years, and if you're in the market and looking for some guidance, then use the contact info in the description below this video to reach out and schedule an intro call, and I'll be happy to help. So joining me today is Sky McLean. Sky is the founder and owner of Basecamp Resorts, and we're going to discuss with her how she's got to where she is today, and also what we expect from Basecamps here in Fernie. So good morning, Sky.
Good morning, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to get straight into it. What gives you your drive? Why Basecamp? How did it form? You know, what's your background? How did you become an entrepreneur? And just give us the insight.
Yeah, you bet. So I always wanted to be in real estate, and I did an MBA in real estate development. And after that, I worked for a couple developers, and I always felt that everybody that I worked for anyway was doing things, you know, in a way that I wouldn't do them. And so I had that entrepreneurial drive kind of festering in the background. While I was working at these various jobs, I bought a condo in Canmore because I was working in Calgary. I wanted to have a place that I lived in Canmore, and the commute was reasonable. And it happened to be zoned for, you know, long-term residential use or short-term rental. So I started renting it on Airbnb when I wasn't there. And I was like, holy moly, this is a great side hustle. And long story short, the job situation in Calgary did not work out. And I said, you know what, to hell with it. I want to build a hotel. This condo, short-term condo rental thing is amazing. And I want to put a brand to this form of travel. So as you know, Airbnb was kicking off and it was doing really well. And people wanted that home away from home experience. But the problem with Airbnb is you get Susie's Suite or Jack's Basement or whatever you're renting. And it might be amazing or it might be total junk. And I wanted to put a brand to the home away from home experience so people would know they're getting high quality linens, comfortable beds, hot tubs on the roof, and all these very predictable experience amidst the built form of stacked townhomes. So 1, 2, and 3 bedroom suites and studios as well.
Okay, so is that the essence of Basecamp? Is that what you've built from that idea?
Yeah, so that's where we started, was ground up construction, stacked townhomes as a brand. So Basecamp Resorts, that's what we're building. Simultaneously, we also acquire hotels and motels in the same areas where we're building and convert those to our other brands, which are Lamp House by Basecamp, Mountain House by Basecamp, and Northwinds by Basecamp. So we do have 2 hospitality strategies. One, like I said, is the ground up construction, and the other is the conversion.
Okay. So where would you say you get your passion for this business from?
I would say because I love traveling and I really want to offer other travelers experiences that I would enjoy. So like I said before, the beauty of, the stacked townhouse model, especially in multiple bedrooms, like I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I don't want to stay in a hotel with 2 queen beds with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Like you'd never have any personal time. With that kind of built form, you can put your kids to bed and still sit in the living room with your partner and have, a nice glass of wine, watch a movie, whatever your thing is, and still feel like you're on holiday. And then with our hotel conversions, it's just offering an experience that's different than, the run-of-the-mill hotel. So for me, it's really, the passion is really driven from creating experiences for other people that I think are enjoyable and that are missing in the market.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I definitely hear you. I mean, I've got 3 girls actually, all teenage girls. So yeah, I mean, we do a lot of traveling at the moment to sporting events every weekend. So yeah, the concept, and we're always in hotels, but the concept of something what you're offering makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, you'll have to try it because you can just, jam the girls in their bedrooms when they're being annoying and shut the door.
Yeah, yeah. Especially three teenage girls. Yeah.
That's a handful.
Yeah, right. So we are excitingly expecting Basecamp here in Fernie. There's a lot of kind of whisperings about when it's coming and what it's going to look like. So could you give us a bit more of an insight into Basecamp Fernie?
Of course, yeah, I would love to. So, as you know, we have the site on the highway there,
Yeah.
and we are going to be. We were hopeful to start construction this year, but it's looking more like April of 2024, which is later than we wanted to start, but just better in terms of timing with permits and lining up trades and all of that. It's going to be our stacked townhome model. We have 14 long-term rental units there, because we are definitely believers in providing accommodation for staff, and those are totally separate. Like, it's a separate building from the hotel where we have 88 short-term rental units.
Okay, interesting. So there's actually, I didn't realize that. So there's actually going to be long-term accommodation on that site.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
we'll have our usual amenities, which are hot tubs, and
yep.
yeah, possibly a small pool. That's still to be determined, and then go from there.
Okay, cool. And then, sorry, how many units did you say? Sorry, just to recap on the Basecamp Resort side of things.
There's a total of 88 units.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. All right, well, that's exciting news.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people about this, and like I said, yeah, there's definitely some excitement. So that's a great update. Thanks very much. So, like, being an entrepreneur like yourself and being a woman as well, what would you say your proudest achievement is? I mean, how long now has Basecamp been going?
We opened our first hotel in on August 1st of 2017,
Wow.
and we started construction for that in 2016. So 2016 would be like our, inception, and then we opened in 2017. And I think the proudest moment in terms of, if you were to, draw in being female, and, it is a male dominated industry, both real estate and hospitality. And it's been like that forever. And I'm hoping we can change that. So it's just, not listening to all my proudest thing is not listening to all the people saying, "Oh, you idiot. You're so stupid. Go get a job. Like, why would you do this? This is crazy. This is so risky. What's wrong with you?" Nah, 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 nah. And I think even to this day, even though we have 10 operating hotels and 8 more under various stages of development and construction, people still think, "Oh, who's this?" And all these rumors and noise. And oh my gosh, like the biggest one is like, "Oh, Sky has parents who just cut her millions of dollars of checks." Well, no, I don't actually. Like, I wish I did. It would make my life a hell of a lot easier. No, I have to like hustle and go find money and go find partners and go find consultants and investors and, motivated employees and everything required to run a business. It didn't just like come out of the clouds, right? So it's always hard. So I think they're all of those moments combined. But I think in terms of, the female factor is that there's no difference, whether you're a girl or boy, you can, or they, or whatever. Anybody can do anything they set their mind to. It doesn't matter anymore,
No, that's awesome. That's very inspiring. Myself having created companies here in Fernie, it blows my mind when people turn around to me and say, "Oh, you're so lucky." It's like, well, yeah, I mean, kind of make your own luck, but yeah, it's. I don't think people realize how. What's a good word? You have to be very persevering to be, to be in business, to not just give up when everything kind of starts going against you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's so many moments in time where you think, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing?" Or, "Oh my gosh, is that person right? And I am just kind of out to lunch," or, "This is crazy," or, "Why are we doing this?" And then, take a step back and be like, "No, this is the plan, and this is what we want to do, and this is what I dreamed of." And then to hell with that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, so what bit of advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, both men and women?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you kind of said it, Phil. It's just, you just got to do it. You put your head down, you come up with a good idea, And one of the best pieces of advice I got is reduce it to practice, which I did, by I ended up having 2 condos before I built the hotel in Canmore. So I had a small version of the model. I tested it out. One of our investors, now a biggest investor, also had a couple of these condos. He was testing it out. Like we tested the waters before building a hotel, right? So we did that, like, for lack of better examples, pilot program, right? And it worked. And then it was like, okay, great. We know this works. Let's scale it. And so, there's no need to go straight for the home run. It's okay to have like a few little darts around the bases before. And so that was one piece of advice.
No, that's interesting as well, because a lot of people just kind of, maybe tuning in or hearing you for the first time think, oh my God, look at this, person, she's doing so well, oh, she's so lucky. But people don't realize that there's so many little baby steps before people get to the big idea or the big, like, successful concept. And and that always fascinates me, actually, what it took to actually get to where you are. So that's interesting. Any other little snippets like that have helped you kind of be successful that you maybe not realize?
A true entrepreneur, and the ones I know, including myself, like they're misfits, right? Like, we don't really fit into a job. We don't fit in. We want to do things our way. People don't always like us. Like, it's just it's a situation where there's always a sense of like, oh man, I think I could do this better, or what is this company thinking, or this boss sucks, or whatever it is, So if you go out there as an entrepreneur at heart and you try something and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean you can't try again with something else. Like, for example, before this whole business, I had this great idea that I was going to make custom Gore-Tex ski clothing. And so I learned to sew, and I started, I kid you not, making all these like one piece, which are now quite popular, I must say. And I would have probably been okay at it. One piece Gore-Tex ski outfits, which I have a few of.
Right.
And it was a great idea, and people wanted it, and the demand was there, and it was so funky, and the colors were cool. But it was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. I've got to go find, a supplier or a Gore-Tex maker and who knows where in the world, and do this whole thing. And it just didn't feel right. There was no, like, all the indications were there that it was going to be successful. I had orders of the yin yang. I was very well received by the community. I was super jazzed about it, but there was just this, like, I don't think this is the one, right? And so I shut it all down, like, probably spent a lot of money on Gore-Tex and zippers that I will never get back, that are still in my possession. So, I'm hoping I can find some young, aspiring ski clothing person that wants all this stuff. And I sat around until I came up with another idea, right? But I knew I was always going to do something. So the point of that ramble is that it's okay to, like, for lack of better words, fail. And I wouldn't even call it a failure. I would just call it, oh, it didn't work. And I knew there was, something different that I was meant to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think failure is a big part of, being a successful entrepreneur, business person. I think if you don't fail, then you're not going to be successful, because and it's part of it. It's just sometimes you lose money, sometimes you don't, but it gets you to the big successful thing in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. One last question before I let you go. What does the future hold? What excites you about the future? What will Basecamp Resorts be in 2, 3, 5 years time?
Well, obviously coming to Fernie is very
exciting.
But in addition to that, we're expanding in Revelstoke. We're expanding in Golden. Cool. We just opened in Banff, and now we're looking for new markets, very similar year-round tourism type markets. And I'd like to expand into the States and really grow this business. So, in the next couple of years, we have our path. We're building in Fernie, like I said, Golden, Revelstoke. But we'd like to get into other areas in North America and really grow the brands.
Awesome. Well, I know you're a busy lady, so thanks very much for your time today, and we really look forward to having you here in Fernie.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to it as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Guy.
Okay, take care.
Okay, cool.